Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. I was very kindly gifted the Fruity Realm by It's Bel Cosmetics, the new matte palette from them. I am, by the way, an affiliate with them, so let's be like super transparent about that starting off. So this particular video is a review of this palette. I'm looking at some swatches because I wanted to compare it to the Cool Summer, which was one of their first matte-ish palettes before. This is their first all matte palette. So I wanted to do that, I wanted to do a look, and I wanted to give you an overall first impression and review. But I'm sure what you've actually clicked on is the fact that I'm going to do a little giveaway. Yeah, that's right, I'm generous. I am giving away a brand new, obviously it'd be a bit weird if I was giving away an old one. This is a brand new Break the Rules palette and a Cool Summer palette, both of which are fabulous palettes. This is one of my favorites of 2021. So yeah, very much looking forward to seeing who'll get the little gross paws on that. But if you're interested in that, the giveaway, and seeing how I did this particular look, then do please keep on watching. I mean, when your before picture looks like this, anything that you do is going to look spectacular. Anyways, let's discuss. So I have the Fruity Realm here, but I also have the Cool Summer here. Now, the reason why I'm putting the two of these together for swatches is this is the first time, the Cool Summer, that they came out with some mattes. Are these duping the ones from the Fruity Realm? No. However, the reason why I'm bringing this up is people didn't 100% love the matte formula in this. Now, I'll be honest, I quite enjoyed it. So I want to see how the two of these compare, so that if you didn't like the mattes from before and it is the same, you will know not to go and buy this particular one. Obviously, they're not duping themselves in terms of shades, so let's make that abundantly clear. So I'm going to start off first with the Cool Summer palette, and I'm going to take maybe Flip Flops, which is quite a purpley toned one. I'm going to take It's a Flamingo, which is this one, makes me think I'm a girl, Daniela, and Boozy Lavender, which is this sort of a blue toned lavender. And this will give you, I'll just give it a little extra swish there, this will give you an idea as to what those mattes actually performed like. Let's put them there. I mean, you can see they're very vibrant. I don't really know why anyone had any issue with them, but you know what? It can often be down to like eye chemistry, if I'm 100% honest. So like, you know, to each their own. You can see very pigmented. That's one swipe with my meaty little paws. I did, by the way, just grab a, what Sahil called it? A wet tissue. This was Spotception. Anyways, let's give this a little bit of a swatch. I also have the bundle of like multi-chromes. Now, I'm not going to swatch those simply because they're pigments, but I'll show you them in the jar because beautiful. But let's get started with these. So we have our first three, like, I mean, fucking look at that. That is, oh, fuck, okay. Okay, right, I didn't have any issues with these. However, I think there's much better pigment on the new formulation of mattes. That's, well then. Wellity. That's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So then we have another three here. Let's see if I can get one of them to cover up my spot. It did. Okay. Yeah, you can see these are a little, like, and these were already very vibrant, but these are very vibrant now. You know what I'm going to say though, swatches don't tell you everything, you know. Someone could swatch beautifully or could swatch terribly, and you could have the converse performance then on the eyelids. So don't take that as ever. Oh, look at that, that's nice. Let's see, there we go. Ah, a green. There we go, that is the whole palette. You can see, obviously, this is the swatches from the Cool Summer. As I said, I never had any issues with that, but to each their own. But you can see this is a lot more vibrant. I mean, it's very interesting to me. So I have the Fruity Realm bundle here. And I know initially when they announced that they were coming out with this, I'm taking it out of its little thing. I bought this by myself with my own money because I'm a big girl. I got the palette in PR, which I very much appreciate, but I own most of its Bel stuff, so that'll tell you something. But I'm taking them out here so you can see them. This has got a grape. There we go. I'll do the YouTuber thing so you can see kind of it there. Yeah. The reason why I'm not kind of taking them on my hand is I would need quite a bit because they are loose pigments. Then this one is Java. So quite a pinky toned one. Can't see much of a reflect on that, but such is life. This is Little Damson. There is quite a blue to violety lavender shift. Like, look at that. That is nice. Then we have Bury Me in it. This is quite a dark shade. It's like a blue to purple. You can kind of see it there. Then we have Fruit Punch. So that looks like this. You get a general idea of the shift on that. It is pretty. I'm really glad she actually managed to put together a bundle on this, because initially they were talking about not putting it together as a bundle, and I was like, but why? You have your Fruity Realm pigments, it would make sense to put it with the matte palette. But she has, I believe it's €60.95 at the moment. I think it might still be in stock. These are my top two, in my opinion, and this is Sahil's favourite. But I will talk about this one first. This is Carambolo. And that is what that one looks like. You can see that like green to pinky shift. Like, that's cool. But my favourite one is I Heart Orange Soda. And I am of the generation where I grew up with Keenan and Kel. Who loves orange soda? I love orange soda. And this is it. I mean, it's so pretty. Look at that orange to pink shift. It is utterly beautiful. And I scrambled for ages. I couldn't find my Mayron fucking mixing liquid for love nor money, but I managed to find some OPV, so I will end up using some of these as like a liner and maybe as a pigment. We'll see. But the next part of the video is me testing these out, telling you what I think. So if you are interested, then that is the next part of the video. Do please keep on watching. It's just polite. For full disclosure, I've actually used the P. Louise Eye Base in Rumour. I don't normally use this. I usually use like my MAC paint pot, but I don't have a white one. So I wanted to really make sure that we could see like the vibrancy of the colours. So it's not my favourite base, so whatever, but we'll use it. I am using this Be Perfect Stacey Marie. It's the 405. And look at this cute little palette. I'm going into Craigdet Berry. Is that meant to be like a play on cranberry? I don't know. I'm not cool or down with it, so there you go. And I'm just kind of shoving that on there and bringing it up to the brow. There is a hell of a lot of pigment in this. Like, you can really see it against that white base. And I'm so glad that I have included a white base. Like, that is nuts. It's really, really vibrant. I was pretty impressed. I do feel like they have improved their matte formula. Like I said before, I never had any issues with it, but this is definitely, in my opinion, that little bit of an extra improvement. I have attempted to try and use as many of the colours as possible. I've used 8 out of the 9, which I feel not bad. And also 2 of the like pigments. So frankly, where's my medal? I'm using a Jessup 312 and I'm going into the shade Papaya. And I'm just putting that along here. So this is actually a look for going to the cinema, believe it or not. Sahil has a Hindi film that he really wants to go and see. So I'm going to have to sit through 2.5 hours of a Hindi film. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to look fabulous while I do it. But in other news, much more exciting news than a Hindi film, we put an offer down on a beautiful house. It's been accepted and we've put like a holding deposit on it now. So we're in the kind of first stages of buying a house. So it's all very exciting. Now a Jessup JL01. Gotta say, I feel like not enough people talk about the Jessup brushes, but they are damn good for the price. And I'm going into It's Bananas. And historically, I found it very difficult to find a yellow eyeshadow, particularly a matte one that is vibrant enough. Man, this is really good. Daniela, I know you love the yellow from the Tokyo palette of BH Cosmetics. I think this might actually be a little bit better. So I'm just popping that here. Look at the vibrancy on that. That is very, very bright. Not quite neon, but like more of a true sort of a yellow. Just kind of stamping that on there for the moment. Future Teresa is going to blend all of these. So you can see you get a lot of pigment with this. Like, it is a little bit insane. In the best way, like, you know, I'm kind of here for it. And now for the blending, I'm just taking a Morphe M562 and I'm just going to take it dry. I have nothing on it and we're just going to smoosh the colours together. I will come back and build it up a little bit further, but let's just see how these colours actually blend together. So they do blend quite nicely. Like, you do lose a bit of your pigment. That's why you have to go back in and build it up. You know, you can see you're losing that bit of the vibrancy of the Cranked Berry. Don't know how I feel about that as a shade name. I don't know, maybe I'm just not cool or with it, but I don't know. So you can see they do quite blend quite nicely there. You're still getting your vibrancy of your yellow. Am I blending with any sort of precision? No, I am not. So just kind of going back and forward on that. I will go back in and build, but yeah, I gotta say, I think you can see right there, you're getting some really nice kind of blending there. Taking the same brush again, and I'm going into It's Bananas, which is the yellow. I did, by the way, put it through a colour switch, just FYI, and I'm just stamping it down there because I don't want to lose the vibrancy of that yellow. I think it's really, like, really fun, really cool. I couldn't help it. I just wanted to put as many of these onto my face as physically possible. And I wish I kind of played with this a bit sooner, but I haven't been well. So this is the first chance I've had to play with it. And gotta say, quite impressed with it. Same brush again, and I'm going into Papaya. I have put it through the colour switch, just full disclosure. And then just popping that there, just in between. I feel like the Papaya isn't quite as vibrant as the other two. Like, it is vibrant, but like, I don't know, there's something about, like, when you see the other two, you're like, oh, okay. Again, it is good, but just probably not quite to the same level as the others. And then same brush again, and I'm going into Cranked Berry. And you can see I've lost quite a bit of that red shade on the inner eye, so I'm bringing it back in and just kind of swishing it around. What I'm going to do then, off camera, because I can't be bothered, is just kind of repeat that process backwards and forwards, and I'm going to cut kind of this part of the eye out, just so you know what's going on. But you can see it is all blending together really, really nicely. So now that I have that section done, it's time to fill in the green. Look, I had to use a green, and this one is very nice. I'm using the Zoeva 238, and I'm going into the shade Kiwi. Now, the shade of this reminds me ever so slightly of the Carnival Ecstasy. It's super, super pigmented, really, really bright, not quite neon, but definitely not that far off of it. You get a lot of pigment. I'm really glad I put down a white base here because you can really appreciate just how bright it actually is here. Oh, this is my kind of thing. Yeah, if I'd had like a yellowy base here, it would have come out very, very different. Don't love this as a base, but sure. I mean the P. Louise, but it'll do. Like, I need to get myself a white MAC paint pot. I cannot find any for love nor money. They don't seem to be sold here, which seems very, very strange to me. So literally just popping that along here. I often find that I struggle to get a matte to stay here for whatever reason. It just has a tendency to want to fuck off. And this one is kind of doing the same. It did the same thing on the other eye. You can kind of see got a little bit of a like a patchy bit there, but again, it's partly I don't love this base and it does that to me, but I wanted to get the vibrancy. I'm just saying, and you know, if you don't look too hard, you don't see it. Do I have a ton of fallout? Yes, I do. I'm taking this Suva 350 and I'm going into the shade Berry Sour. I will say I probably didn't choose the best brush for this because this is kind of stiff, but look at that. Like, shut the front door. That is spectacular. Like, that's not just me, that is beautiful, isn't it? That is an amazing blue. Very, very pretty, very pigmented. Like, fuck right off. That's beautiful. So I'm just laying that down. Yeah, I mean, you can see what I'm doing. Don't need to walk you through this. I really feel like this blue in particular, you can see kind of when you contrast that against the blue in the cool summer palette, that they have taken some time to try and kind of reformulate and kind of get their kind of gist over that. Like, I feel like it is definitely an improvement. Again, I loved that palette, but I do respect that It's Bel listened to what people were saying and went, okay, we'll do something a bit different this time round. So, I mean, I will say I really respect their formulas. They tend to work really, really well. I always associate this brand with my friend Daniela because when I saw the Break the Rules palette initially, I was like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. And I like flipped past it. I was like, no, not for me. And Daniela was like, no, I reckon this is even more special than you believe. And fuck me, was she ever right. I'm now taking this sort of cash beauty brush and I'm going into the shade Concord Grapes. And lads, this is pigmented. Like, look at that. I've taken a very small amount because it does tend to kind of go phew. I'm just kind of popping that around here, just around the sides and up to here. Just because I will be cutting it out a little bit in that weird shape. I don't know what I was doing. I was like, I'm going to do something different. So it's not a complete cut crease because Teresa's boring and does the same things over and over again. I mean, it's true. I have no new ideas. I'm such a basic bitch. I was going to say boring and then it became basic. Oh, there you go. I'll just add a little bit more of that blue there because it's kind of fucked off a little bit. And now for the blending, I'm going to start on the outside. I did have a little bit of trouble blending this Concord Grapes with the kind of paler blue. Despite the fact that they're kind of in the same colour family, I was having a lot more issue with it than I thought I would have. But if you're patient with it, it does work. So time is all you really need in this particular scenario. And you can see there it does like start blending actually pretty darn well. So I'm quite happy with that. And now just blending in the green with the blue. You can see there again, that blends pretty well actually. I did do my general trick on the other eye of like grabbing the two shades on one brush, and that definitely helps. So if you're a lazy bitch like myself, this is usually the way to really get it rocking up a little bit better. But yeah, it does look pretty well. I obviously have to add in a little bit more of the blue just to get it matching up. So I'm just popping that blue up there and bringing it down. Like, it looks weirdly structured, but it is like my own weird messy way of doing things. So bear with me. I do like this though. I think this has come out quite nicely. Okay, so I think I've done enough of the blending here. I'm going to cut that out and we'll come back and do the very last bit of the eye. Okay, so we've cut it all out now and it's starting to come together. I think this might be my favourite look that I've done. I mean, we'll see once we put lashes and stuff on, but am I getting better? We can never really tell. Also, this is perfect for going to the cinema, don't we agree? Yeah, I'm using this Be Perfect Stacey Marie. It's the 406 and I'm going into the shade Plums. I obviously had to figure out how to use or where to use a purple because purples are very difficult to formulate, and I figured if she hasn't gotten this down, that could be a little bit of a problem, but actually this is pretty good. I think my major issue is actually that this is very, very similar once you see it on the eye to the shade Guava, which is a pink. Probably one needed to be maybe a bit darker or a bit lighter or both, who knows. It just felt like it was a little bit too similar in my opinion. You're going to see now in a little bit. Just bring this onto the lash line. Down you go. This is a really nice brush, by the way. And I'm sure that if people were good at makeup, they could make some great looks with these brushes. Much better than what I'm doing, but sure, fuck it. It's grand. It's only makeup. It all washes off at the end of the day, or at least it should. Don't go to sleep in your makeup, okay? We're past that. It's not the 90s anymore. So yeah, just popping that there. You can see you get a decent amount of pigmentation, like it's not bad. I am now taking this Color Drain. It's a round shadow brush. It's quite big. I know. And I'm going into the shade Guava. And this is where you can kind of see that they are quite similar. I don't think they needed to have the two, or they should have distinguished them a little bit more. Again, this is me being very pernickety about a bloody $18 palette. So it's, you know, I just want to help, guys. I just want to help. But you can see they are quite similar when they are together. But maybe it's helpful in that, you know, you can blend them out together. Like, I mean, they did blend like straight away into each other. I'm just taking this Zoeva, is it the 208? 225, shows what I fucking know. And I'm going into the plum shade again, and just kind of gonna bring it out like this, and then bring it down. Bring it down now. I just saw that Robert Welsh commented on one of my videos, and I am trying not to like flap with excitement. So he said he will make me furniture. I'm very excited. It won't be usable, but it'll be beautiful. We'll have it as a statement piece in the house. But yeah, you can see they are very, very similar to each other, those particular shades. I'm now taking the Morphe M562 and I'm going into that Guava shade, the pinky one, and just kind of going backwards and forwards. But I mean, we're pretty much there at this point. Do we agree? Do we think? Because I feel like I'm there, you know? I quite like this. I think this is nice. I will also say if I spend much longer on my makeup, the hill will be like, the fuck are you doing? What is wrong with you? I'm normally very quick with my makeup, so this is like a lot longer than usual. I've kind of just gotten distracted. I'm taking this JF13 and I'm just going to swish backwards and forwards, and I'll clean all of that up later because the most important bit is coming now. It's going to be using the pigments. Now I already have like a little bit down on a mixing plate, so I'm not going to bother taking out any more, but I will tell you which ones I'm using where. Okay, so the shade that I put onto this particular mixing plate, I probably have to put more mixing drops on again, is the Carambola, which is this one. It has just this fabulous sort of a shift to it, and I have a super expensive Shein brush. I know, it's for the nail art. I am actually getting more into nails. I feel like James Welsh like kind of dropped that seed in my brain, you know, on the Double Cleanse podcast of like, oh, he wants to go away from skincare and going into like nails, and I'm like, oh, okay. So this is what it looks like on here. You probably can't see it that well. In case you're wondering about the mixing plate, it's from Bel Cosmetics. It is the tits. So I'm just going to pop that. Hopefully you can see. If not, that is on me. And wee. Oh, shut up. Like, that is so pretty. Part of me wanted to put a bit of the pigment as well on my eyes, but then I was like, no, let it just be about the mattes, Teresa. Chill out. But I think this is such a pretty sort of duochrome. I'm here for it. Then the next shade that I'm using is the shade Little Damson. It's this kind of blue to purpley shift. Although honestly, when you see it on the eye, you kind of don't notice it as much as being that. I think mainly because I put it on quite a dark colour, so you don't see it as kind of obviously there. I didn't actually have to put any mixing drops because this was still wet. Dirty. Anyways, I'm just popping that along here, and once that is done, I feel like this one isn't as like glorious as the other, but it might just be because of the backdrop that it's on. Maybe I'm being a bit miffy, who knows. But yeah, that is looking really, really nice. I'll probably have to clean it up and do like an extra coat there, but that is essentially it. I'm gonna fuck off now. I have a lipstick of theirs that I'm going to use and a couple of other bits and pieces, but we will come back. I'll show you the look and we'll talk about the giveaway. I have been a naughty, naughty girl And not like that, unfortunately. Instead of filming an intro and outro like I normally would do after I've done my makeup, we went straight to the cinema because time was of the essence and I took too long to get ready. I know, I'm a stereotype, but I did end up using one of their lipsticks. It's called Deseo, Deseo. Looks quite nice. So please be aware that when you're looking at this makeup has been on for about 8 hours because we went out and we did a couple of things. So be careful about how you're scrutinizing it, but I think actually that might give you an idea as to the longevity of this, because something might actually apply pretty nicely, but may not wear that well. So let's have a little look. So this is obviously it on the eyelids. Could I have made it any more colourful? I mean, probably. I put a little bit of the pigment, obviously, as a sort of a liner. You can't see it that well in this light, but it is lovely and I had many compliments. Are the lashes possibly clinging to the last bit of life that they have? We can never really tell. I quite like this eye look. As I said, I have gotten a couple of compliments about it today, so I'm feeling myself if I'm 100% honest. But yeah, that's the look. I would normally say this is where I'm like, oh, it was super simple. It wasn't actually that simple. It took me more time than I'm comfortable admitting. Like, it was a thing. But let's talk about this particular palette. So it's retailing for $18. If you use a code, you can use mine, you'll get 10% off. So really about $16.20. I had to blow off because there's a bit of kick up in the pan. Okay, I think this is very pigmented. I do feel like they have really improved on their previous formula. I feel like Papaya maybe isn't as pigmented as some of the rest. It is pretty good, but kind of it pales a little bit in comparison to the rest. I think maybe that needs a smidgen more work. Weirdly, the two of these, Plum and Guava, when they're on the eye, very similar. So I think maybe this needed to be made a little bit darker, or this one needed to be made a little bit light. You can kind of even see here, like they are quite similar. So I would have probably swapped that out. This is fabulous. That fucking yellow, mwah, fantastic. So all in all, I actually think this is a really good palette. Do I think you need it? Depends on who you're asking. If you're like me and you have like 5 million makeup palettes, that's an exaggeration. But if you have a lot, no, you don't need it. Put it down, right? But if you are just starting off in makeup and you're looking for a nice little rainbow palette, you know what? You're gonna like this. This actually works really well. The question then is, do you need it? Again, if you're like me, you probably don't. But is it worth it? I actually do think it is. Like, for the price, I'm really impressed with this. I also put like some pictures on my Instagram, I'll show them to you now, of what it looked like in natural light, because I think it's actually really important, because what you're seeing right now is me under some harsh lights. So that gives you a really not quite indicative idea of what these things actually look like. What I will say is, if you like the color story, you will like this. It blends really well. I didn't have any issues with it. I would change out 1 or 2 colors and kind of maybe tweak the formula a bit. I think this is a solid like 8 out of 10, like really good. What I really enjoyed, and this was the stuff I picked up with my own monies, was these damn pigments. Man, these were good. This is definitely not for the faint of heart though. Like, if you are very experienced with makeup, then yes, pick up a pigment or pick up a penguin, depending upon your feelings on the day. But if you're newer, you might kind of struggle a little bit with it. I do like that they've put all of this in a bundle for, I think it's a little over €60, which makes sense to me. And again, you can take a little bit of money off. Affiliate link, affiliate code. I'm terrible at this. It's all down below. But we all know times are tough. It's tricky to buy things at the moment. So do I think you necessarily need them? No, not if you're at the point of me. But I really enjoyed this. The question is, would I go out and buy this again? You know what? It kind of depends. If I had my current makeup collection, no, because I have loads of stuff. But if I was starting from scratch and, you know, my house is decimated, please don't let that ever happen, I would actually go out and get this. I think this is a really solid, colourful palette to start off with. The price is good, the quality is good. Yeah, I will say it's tough for them to kind of go from these amazing multi-chromes to these mattes. Like the mattes are very good, but like when you have such a strong, like shimmery multi-chrome formula, it's kind of like, well, it's mattes. It's hard. You know, they set the bar very, very high for themselves. And I gotta say, I think they did really well. But actually that leads me on to the giveaway. I know that's the only reason you've stuck on this long, you little clingy things. But all I want you to do is like and comment underneath this video. Comment your Instagram name. I know, that's how I'll contact you. Make sure you're subscribed, because if you're not subscribed, soz, you're out. What I will say is my Patreons all have an automatic entry. Those who are on the second tier will have 3 entries, and if they do comment on this as well, they get an extra entry. That's right, I'm so nice. So it's up for grabs, the break the rules and the cool summer, so the 2 palettes together. This is an international giveaway because why not? Let's spread the love in these difficult times. But my friends, that is it. That is the end of the video. If you are interested in buying anything from It's Bel Cosmetics, there's quite a few things I would really suggest. The break the rules, fucking get that. I'm still annoyed that they've gotten rid of the Dawn of Fall palette. I thought that was fabulous. But anyways, I have an affiliate link, I have an affiliate code. It's Teresa10. It'll take 10% off. It won't, you know, change your life, but it might be helpful, and I do earn a commission from that. Let's be transparent. But my friends, that is it. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Honestly, just because it's polite, and do please share, because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case just wrap it up, don't be gross. But that's it, that's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.